All right, so we got the new Khamrah here from Khamrah here from Lattafa. Let's go ahead and open it up. This is Khamrah Dukhan, or Dukhan. I'm gonna mispronounce it. Dukhan, right there. Really excited about this one. I have Khamrah Qahwa. It is by far my most favorite of winter fragrances. Let's go ahead and unbox this real fast. Presentation's nearly identical. I think a little bit of change. I think it's loose in here too. I think I jumbled around, but so we'll see. We'll open and see what it looks like. But yeah, the little bottom kind of has that kind of woody finish to it. Instead of Khamrah was black, Khamrah Qahwa was brown. This is kind of like a reddish maroon color on the box. Let's see what we can end up with. All right, it's only a little bit loose in there. Not terrible. Not the best in the world. Let's make it look like it's supposed to. There. Now it's sitting there properly. Looks very nice. Mirrored presentation in the back. Oh, lid just came off. I did it too early. Too early. There we go. All right, so that's what it looks like. All right, so here it is close up. Standard Khamrah bottle. This is just with a different name on it. All right, so the note breakdown is not too similar to the first two, but the opening is pimento, spices, and mandarin. That's interesting. The pimento, I'm interested to see if that's like what they mean by pimento and what kind of pimento, smoked or otherwise. Then they got laudanum, incense, patchouli, orange blossom in the middle, followed by base notes of tobacco, praline, amber, tonka bean, and benzoin. So it sounds like the base might be pretty similar to Qahwa, but we'll find out. Let's go ahead and pop this open. I thought they got a different color atomizer there. Very, very kind of that maroon color to match the color of the box top. Very nice. All right, let's throw this on, give it a little smell, just do the opening, and we'll jump back in later after I've let it dry and the dry down kind of takes place. So we'll do a quick, let's get the sprays out, come on. Nice. Good atomizer. Big wide spray. Okay. Opening is very similar to Qahwa, but has just a little bit of edge to it, and that's the pepper. That's got to be that pepper that they're talking about, plus the spices. But yeah, very nice. Very, very similar to Qahwa. Not quite as sweet as Khamrah Qahwa, and it doesn't have the coffee notes. But it's very, very nice in the opening. This is definitely more of a winter fragrance, even though they're releasing this at least in the Northern Hemisphere during the spring and summertime. This is definitely more of a winter fragrance. I'm getting a lot more spices. The pimento pepper's in there, but it's more like a smoky kind of pimento pepper. So don't think like a fresh pimento. It's more like, imagine like a roasted or a smoked pimento pepper. But overall, it's definitely sweet. The overall fragrance is sweet. It's just got more smokiness, a little bit more roughness than Qahwa. Qahwa was and is extremely smooth. This has just a little bit of sharpness, just barely right in there, but it's hard to describe. But I think that really is the smoked pepper aspect and the dry spices. And the absence of things like dates and other notes in the fragrance. But yeah, whew, that's really nice. All right, I'm gonna do it on skin to see if maybe anything else pops out differently with my pH. So we'll do a quick one. I'll wear this out today and I'll do a full dry down after I get back. One, two, skidoo. All right, got it all over me. I smell. Okay, I can definitely pick up more of the pepper off my skin. It's a little more green as far as like the note. So it's a little more like a raw pepper than it is like a smoked one. I'm not getting the incense quite as hard. It's quite as intensely. But yeah, overall, just really smooth. I'm also, even though the dry down hasn't happened and the base notes aren't really pushing hard, there's more tobacco. There's more of that sweetness from the tobacco that you can kind of smell off the skin compared to just off the paper. So I'm going to jump back in once all this stuff is kind of dried down and I know what those notes are looking like, and then we'll pop back in and I'll go ahead and give an update. All right, so we are now done. The dry downs happened. I was out for an hour or two. Now I'm just going to give you my general impressions. The opening, again, the opening has a lot of stuff going on with it. The main thing you're going to be this little different is there's a little bit of spiciness that's from that pimento pepper, but it's also got a good bit of like juiciness from that mandarin orange kind of citrus there. It's a very juicy kind of smell to it. It's not like a dry, rindy mandarin citrus. So very, very sweet on the opening. Overall, it's a sweet fragrance. It's not a super dry fragrance at all. The dry down, you get a little bit of the incense after a while, but the incense does fade, the patchouli does fade, but they're all there and they're all well mixed. All high marks all around with that, no real complaints. The dry down, the final base notes of the biggest notes that I notice that are listed on Fragrantica are tobacco and tonka bean. Those are the two big ones. So you get this like really luxurious, smooth tobacco with the tonka bean to add some sweetness in there to it. A little bit of vanilla kind of pieces and parts to it. There's praline, so you get a little bit of chocolatiness in there too, but mostly the biggest thing in here is the tobacco and that tonka bean to my nose on my skin. So if you like that as a dry down, oh, it's so nice. It's very, very pleasant. Definitely, again, this is a fall winter fragrance. Even though they release it in spring, this is a fall winter fragrance. Or sorry, spring in the Northern Hemisphere. So definitely high marks. It cost me 50 bucks. I bought from Lattafa directly, so it's a little on the expensive side relative to other Lattafa stuff you can buy at discounters or something's fine at like Burlington or TJ Maxx every now and then. But it's also a brand new release, so that makes sense. So overall, super satisfied with it. Love it. How does it compare to Qahwa? I would say this is a little more masculine than Qahwa just because I tend to associate those tobacco and the pepper in the opening and the smokiness with being a little more masculine. That's just my preference. Some people might think the coffee notes in Qahwa are more masculine, but overall, amazing fragrance, really top notch. They did what they wanted to do. I would say as far as how different it is from original Khamrah, which is kind of boozy, kind of sweet, a little more feminine leaning, this is very, very different. However, if you compare this to Qahwa, this is only like, I'm going to say this is about 25-30% different from Qahwa. So if you like Qahwa, you're probably going to like this. If you didn't like Qahwa but you prefer the original, you might not like this. So that'd be my only real thing to say. This isn't blind buy safe. If you didn't like Khamrah Qahwa, you might not like this, or you're less likely to enjoy this. If you liked Khamrah and not Qahwa, again, you might not like this. If you loved Qahwa, you'll love this. This is also great. But again, the opening of pimento is very nice. Again, nice juicy mandarin in the beginning, and the heart notes and the bottom notes of the tobacco and the tonka bean really came out and really just smell myself, smell my arm. It's very addictive, lovely, lovely fragrance. Just top notch all around. Awesome work from Lattafa. And that's my review, guys. Thanks for watching.